Retribution, Book 4 of the Harvesters series. Written by Luke R. Mitchell. Narrated by Stephen Barnett. Chapter 1. 1 month, she'd said. Glass shattered, and a maddened scream split the air, only distantly recognizable as human. Jarek hit the pavement in a half-crouch and pushed on without looking back, Phila's powerful legs pumping beneath him, pounding the ground as he fled the first of the horde, with his cargo tightly clutched. 3 weeks ago, the sounds of the shrieks that spread through the streets behind him would have curdled his blood and given him a proper case of the heebie-jeebies. Now, though? Now that Führer hordes seemed to be howling after them wherever they ran, now that he'd seen more grown men and women tear each other to gory pieces more times than he wanted to count, all he could do was push on. It was all any of them could do right now. That didn't stop the heebie-jeebies. 1 month of this madness. He could have taken them, of course. In small numbers, their fists and mindless rage weren't exactly fair matches for Jarek's armored exo. In horde quantities, though? Jarek had tried to avoid putting too much thought into it, but he was pretty sure Phila wouldn't render him invulnerable to them going Wookiee on his ass and pulling him limb from limb if they managed to catch him and swarm him to the pavement. So he kept moving. "Talk to me, Mr. Robot. Good news only." A deliberate moment's hesitation. Then, "That's quite the lovely sunrise, sir." On top of his crisp English accent, Al's tone was cautious, searching. Jarek held his tongue, waiting for the digital construct to finish his sweep. Everything else aside, his friend wasn't wrong. It was a lovely sunrise. The scrabbling feet and bloodthirsty calls of the horde just put a bit of a dimmer on things. "No enemy ships detected nearby, sir," Al said after longer than usual. "Though I'll remind you my eyes aren't as good as they once were." Jarek grimaced and adjusted his cargo, shifting the enormous bag on his back and wrapping the straps of the second half-full duffel tighter around his left hand. Between the net inexplicably failing last week and the second-hand sensory array Price and Al had cobbled together on Phila's faceplate after a Rachnoth warlord had clubbed off the first one, Jarek imagined Al's senses felt about as unencumbered as he currently did, trying to sprint with a giant sword and a couple of oversized duffels awkwardly strapped to his form. That said, Al's words at least offered some mild assurance that the rakul themselves were...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?